So today, I feel like it's maybe something a little bit different. This is actually off the cuff. I didn't even have it as a scheduled topic, but I was thinking about doing my conversion story today, leading into this, but then I realized and I thought that this would just make a good video by itself. And that's the fact that, to be real honest, sometimes I feel really stupid being a Christian. Sometimes I feel like a real dork, like a real skis, you know? If you feel that way, you're not alone, right? I still have doubts myself. I still have questions. Sometimes I still wonder if it isn't just all some sort of big head game. I get embarrassed easily, especially when it comes to talking about the faith or sharing the gospel. I've just learned to persevere through that, you know. You're not alone. Again, you're not alone. It's okay. I think sometimes we feel like we need to gloss ourselves up, right? Or gloss over certain things and shine ourselves up, and we have to present ourselves, as good little Christian soldiers and, not show weakness and let everyone think that, that we're some sort of, prayer warrior and that we're, that we stand firm and share the gospel anytime we can and, that we're never shaken and while sometimes we have moments of that, we all have bad days. Sometimes we go through bad chapters in life. And sometimes we just deal with feelings and thoughts like that, And again, that's okay. I don't care what anyone says. It's okay, right? We're still fallible human beings. You're not alone. If you feel that way, if you've ever been afraid to admit some of this, I'm sure I'm not alone. It's okay, right? And I would encourage anybody, right? I would also remind us that they're just thoughts, they're just feelings. A mentor of mine told me once, he said, Jeff, learn to separate the thoughts and feelings from the actions. Because it is our actions that define us. We don't have to be embarrassed or ashamed because sometimes, we feel a little nerdy reading our Bible. Or we feel a little embarrassed praying or what have you. I think the healthy thing to do is to put it out there, right? Share it with somebody, right? Be vulnerable, right? Take it before God in prayer. We're not fooling Him, right? We're only fooling ourselves and maybe the people around us. So, at the end of the day, I think it's important to put this stuff out there and let ourselves be vulnerable, especially with our brothers and sisters in the church. Again, you're not alone. If you feel, like I said, if you feel embarrassed sometimes, if you feel awkward, again, you're not alone. You're not the only one out there, right? So, stand strong, stand firm. Have a good day.